Welcome to this video. My name is Eva, and in this video I talk about the importance of knowing about like death and the raw vegan diet, because maybe you've heard that in the recent weeks a very kind of famous person in the raw food community died at a quite young age, at I think around 50 years old. And so a lot of people who are interested in a raw vegan diet are now a little bit curious or a little bit scared if a raw vegan diet or fruit-based diet is actually, a healthy thing to do, or if it's actually dangerous. And I want to share my experience with this topic. So first of all, I want to say, when I first turned kind of fruit-based, or the first years I tried a raw vegan diet, especially the first month and the first year, I was very insecure if this diet would really work, because of course you read the books, you feel kind of this is the right thing, you feel good in your body, but there's so much misinformation in our society about a healthy diet, about the necessity for protein, etc. And that sometimes when you hear things very often, it is just, in my opinion, human psychology, that you start to doubt yourself, or that it might be easier to doubt yourself. So I think this video is maybe specifically important for people who just get started in a raw food diet, because most often they're not sure if this diet actually works. But now I'm doing a fruit-based diet for many years, and I just have a lot of proof that the raw food diet works. So the first thing that I want to say is that people die for many reasons that are not connected to a diet. For example, a car accident. For example, they have maybe past stories before they became raw vegan. For example, people took drugs for 10 years and then they went raw vegan for maybe a couple of months and then they die, and then people say, hey, it's the raw vegan diet's fault, and that is not true. It's really what has the person done all those years before, and that was damaging the body. And it's the same, for example, a person had a super terrible accident and was on a raw vegan diet. Was the raw vegan diet responsible for the accident or for the death of the person? No. And it's the same with, for example, there's a person who died. He was also quite famous and popular in the raw vegan community because of different components such as kidney failure, and that was definitely, or a huge factor was definitely because this person did a lot of dry fasting. So, and that's just super damaging for your body. And at this point in this video, I really want to mention that if anyone recommends dry fasting, just do not listen to them, because you need water, your body needs water, and if you do not consume water for a specific time, let it be a day or longer than that, and no food, it's super damaging for your body and for your kidneys. So and again, this person was eating raw vegan. Was it the diet's fault? No, it was not. It was the dry fasting fault. Another person that I did some research on, he was eating a raw vegan diet, and then he got kind of problems with his colon. And again, if you just hear this new raw vegan person has big, huge problems with gut, you might think, okay, it's the raw vegan diet's fault. But in the end, when you did more research, I learned, or I found out, that this person was doing enemas every single day, maybe once or 2 or 3 times a day for many years. So of course, if you do enemas, for those of you who don't know what an enema is, it is basically flushing water in your colon from your butt. And this is super damaging as well for your colon if you do it on a regular basis that often, because it's just not natural. So again, was it the diet's fault? No. And I think that's super important to understand, that very often when we go to a raw vegan or fruit-based diet and certain things come up, it's really important to differentiate, is it really the diet or is it really other factors? For example, for me, I had it's so stupid, when I turned vegan, I always, when I touched my eye, it burned, and then in the end I found out that in my pocket I had this pepper spray that I used to not be afraid when I go home alone, and this pepper spray was leaking. So the inside of the pocket was full of pepper spray, and so I had it on my finger. So of course, when I rubbed my eye, it was the pepper spray. But back in my mind, I was like, oh no, the raw vegan diet gives me this, this itchy eye or something. So yeah, it's really important to, and it's the same with emotional emotional detox, because a lot of people say I cannot do the raw vegan diet because I feel lightheaded or something. And no, it's not the diet's fault, it's just you're not eating enough, or it's most often you're eating enough. So really it's important to differentiate, okay, what's the diet's fault and what is my own fault. Another big thing, when you hear that maybe a person who is supposedly eating super healthy has certain health issues, is to keep in mind that unfortunately some people lie, even if they're on social media. We have seen this, for example, with Giovanna Mendoza, who was known as Ravana, who was eating animal products, even though she was she was saying to people, I'm vegan, and she was promoting her vegan programs. She was eating animal products. The same or similar thing, I think, was with Elise from Raw Alignment and all of those things. So very often, or not very often, but definitely on social media, people lie, and sometimes you don't really know what's really going on, because people show you what they want you to show and not what is really going on. So even if, for example, a person says they're raw vegan, maybe they're not raw vegan, and or they have a certain maybe definition of raw veganism that is just not um, the original meaning of raw veganism. Another really important factor is that raw veganism does not mean automatically that it's healthy, and that's something that I had to learn. Because when I first went raw vegan, and now I'm fruit based, but when I first went raw vegan, I believe that a raw vegan diet, no, as long as it's raw, it's healthy, and that's not the case. Because, for example, you can buy raw olive oil or raw coconut oil, eat tons of nuts and seeds and all of that, and it's not really healthy. I mean, the important thing, and that is why I'm fruit-based, is that for me it's important to eat as much fresh fruit and vegetables, and that's really the healthy thing. So just because someone says they're healthy, they're raw vegan, it does not automatically mean that they're healthy. Because, for example, if they consume most of their calories from fat, it will clog the arteries as well. So even though maybe it's not animal products, it is still, or saturated fat from animal products, it is still fat that will clog the arteries. So it is important to eat kind of low fat, or on the lower fat or lower side of fat, and also to eat a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables. And so this is basically some factors. I'm just thinking if another thing that is super important is your attitude towards life, because I really believe you can eat healthy food, but if you're in a very kind of way of thinking that is very defeated, that can really influence your mental health as well. And so it's important to I believe, do therapy, work on your mental health, and do things apart from diet that are important. For example, to go out in sunshine and to move your body, to do exercise, to meet with friends, to socialize. I believe socializing is very important, and to work on your mental health, etc. And so what I want to say is that when you read in the newspaper, let it be, for example, raw vegan person dies, or vegan person dies, or vegan child dies, to always be skeptical. What is the real reason that, for example, this child died or this person died? Because there was, I think, some years ago or some month ago, there was the case, a vegan baby died, and it was like in a newspaper article, it was that a vegan diet is dangerous. And when you read closer, or you sometimes read in between the lines, for me, from my experience, it is really that, for example, the child was mistreated or was not given enough food, enough calories. So I would definitely say that death is, of course, always something very tragic, but very often from my experience and from observing people in this community, it is not always the diet's fault. It's also the same when a person has anorexia, so is doing lots of fasting and is losing a lot of weight. Very often it's not the diet's fault, because you can be anorexic on any diet, but it's really the person's kind of mental point of view and all of that. So in the end, I want to say that if you ever have the feeling that maybe a fruit-based diet is not healthy, then really go back to the basics. That's what helped me the most. And to always remember that, is fruit healthy? Yes. I mean, everyone knows that fruit is healthy. It is, yeah, even our normal society believes that and knows that. Is eating vegetables healthy? Yes. Does people know that eating more vegetables and more fruit is healthy? Yes. Does, for example, an apple or a piece of bread has more nutritional value, a piece of apple? And yeah, to really go back to these basics whenever you doubt that, for example, a vegan diet or a fruit-based diet is healthy. So yeah, go back to the basics, and then you will really go to the simple logic, because what happens sometimes is that with academic research, sometimes things get complicated a lot that should not need, or that there's no need to complicate them. And in the end, I want to say, is eating healthy worth it? Of course. So even though maybe, yes, you can have an accident and die at 20 years old, or you can get in a car crash or something like that. Of course, all of this can happen, but I think it's important to take responsibility for the things that we can change, and and also not only think about how long you want to live, but also the life quality you want to live, because I believe that eating healthier, eating a fruit-based diet, definitely directly, also in the beginning, can definitely change our life quality for the better, because a lot of people, or most people, will experience, when they eat enough calories from fruit and vegetables, that they experience better sleep, they experience better energy levels, they experience better mood. So it's really not only about the lifespan, but it's also about life quality, and that's why I think it's worth it to eat healthy. So this was the video. If you have any comments, then write them down in the comment section. I would be super interested to hear about them. And sorry also for the video quality, because my camera, I think, broke, so I'm filming this on my phone. And also I want to say, if you're interested in any recipe videos, then check out my channel. And also, if you're interested in recipes that are raw vegan recipes or fruit-based recipes, then check out my ebooks. They're on my web page. And I wish you a beautiful, wonderful day. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel so that I can see you in the next video. A lot of love, and see you soon. Bye bye.